Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Power Up with Pride 2025. I am wildly distracted by chat because someone's talking about making homemade focaccia bread, and that sounds amazing. You know what also sounds amazing? Not one, not two, but three runners running Windblown. So please welcome back ateatree, Ozmourn, and welcome Xenadir. Let's see everything about Windblown. Take it away.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you, Sarwin, but I also want to hear more about that focaccia bread.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
really
I'm
important
starving now.
You got any more information about that? Slap it in the chat.
Please do. With that being said, hello everyone. This is Windblown. My name is Ozmourn, and with me is.
I'm a ateatree.
Hi there, and I am joining you for the first time. My name is Xenadir. If there's any weird audio sounds, I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm actually working Zeldathon in person right now and wanted to find time to also help with Power Up. So I am sitting in the dorm room on Saturn, as I've been told, and it's not my normal setup. But also, thank you all so much for having me here. I'd love to be able to help out with this, so I'm very excited to see what we can show off tonight and raise money for charity.
Wonderful.
That's just the kind of person Xenadir is. He will gladly work two charity events at the same time if the forces of the universe align. Speaking of how the forces of the universe align, we had a character bid war open, and the top 3 characters should be chosen to run. What are we looking at, Starwind?
We sure did, and the top 3, number 1, Axolotl.
Yes.
All right, that's Ozmourn's
all
favorite.
I care about.
Number 2, we had Project 2501, 2501.
Let's go.
Weird squid creature. That's Xenadir's pick.
And then we have a tie for number 3. Pangolin and Bat are both tied. So I don't know
All right,
how
well,
we're
I'll
supposed to
show
be the
you both.
tiebreaker.
So while we're here, take a look at the pangolin. Pangolin, very cute, huggable, big friendly. But I will go ahead and run as the bat.
All right. Okay. I didn't
Gotta
know
have
if it was
that
gonna
One
be
Piece
my
energy.
choice or
Cool
not,
sunglasses.
Exactly. So again, of course, you probably figured out by now, but don't be fooled by the fact that there's only one screen. All 3 of us in this call are playing right now, as you can see.
Ozmourn and 2 AI.
Yeah.
We're just commentating, making it sound like we know what we're doing. But yeah, no, this is a roguelike from the makers of Dead Cells Motion Twin. So it's got a lot of that DNA in it, but it also has some things that it takes from the likes of like Hades and other successful action isometric roguelikes. So that all said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's load into our cannon here and get fired off into the vortex to get things going.
We're going to be playing on Clear Sky, which is currently the lowest difficulty, and timing will begin once we all launch out into this cannon, into the vortex. Now, one thing that I will say is that if you've seen us run this at marathons before, this game is in early access, and a lot of stuff has changed since the last time we ran this at an event. So, including a new biome that we're going to see. So, that being said, we're going to start off once we launch out, and once I hit Fungal Swamp here, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go, gamers.
Go. Okay, so obviously with
Oz isn't at all kidding about a lot of things having changed. This beta branch that we're playing on dropped literally yesterday. So that includes like new gifts, new power-ups. There's a lot of new options available to us that maybe we haven't even seen before.
True.
On to our initial gift to get things started.
Our initial loot, of course. I got refilling crystallized.
Yeah, nothing great.
Yeah, and so also one thing is that this is all encounters, which means that anything that we see, we have to kill. So that's the main gist about this category. Our first layout that we get to here, layout that we get here is all random as you would see in any Coder roguelike. But also the weapons and the trinkets and the gifts that we get are all random as one would expect. I got Goo Bomb over here, so thankfully that's
y'all proceeded. There we go.
No, I didn't. I was coming back to you, but I warped to Oz since he was furthest away. Yeah, the game has systems like that. You can hold down on the D-pad or the equivalents elsewhere on whatever controller you have to warp to the player who's currently the furthest away from you. That's the system as it exists now. Sometimes that still doesn't take you to the player you want. The long and short is you have two primary weapons. The primary weapons each have a combo system that ends in what's called an alter attack. Hey, come on back, Oz.
Oh, sorry. Forgot that ends in a gift.
The alter attacks, if you use the alter attack to switch from one weapon to the other, you get nice. I got refilling crystallize.
Wait, what did you? What did you get?
Zen has Midas and complete crystallize. So.
Oh, that's great because I have refilling and also shielding crystallize, which is good.
Nice. All right, well, you're gonna have a great time.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I guess now's a good time to mention what exactly crystallize does. As you can see, it usually works with large enemies where once it gets to the last little bit of health that the enemy has, we are able to...
Yeah, you get that little marker over their head.
A little marker over the head, and by activating that marker, you're able to just finish them off with a crystallized move. It's just this game's version of a finisher. And so one
of the upgrade trees is crystallize, and it gives you additional abilities on all of those. So anything from when you crystallize, you get slightly stronger each time you crystallize, to when you crystallize, you gain a little bit of shield, to when you crystallize, your cooldowns go way down. Say hi to the fishes. We'll be seeing them as our kind of gatekeepers. They basically bank your meta progression, any new abilities you've unlocked, any of the meta progression currencies. So yeah, the fact that between the three of us, we have most of the crystallized tree, especially that complete crystallize that lets you do that same coup de grace or finishing move to any enemy, means we're going to be a lot stronger collectively, and doubly so to the one or more than one players who ends up with upgrading crystallized. Upgrading Crystallize and Midas, mentioned earlier, are two of the 3 or 4 what we kind of call Kingmaker upgrades, because they have scaling throughout the game. You continue to get stronger as you do the activity listed on the card, essentially. So seeing those really early means that player is probably our damage dealer for the rest of the run. And Midas in particular is important, because now it means that Xenadir should not spend money on anything at any point.
Yeah, and refilling crystallize in particular for me. Oh, I got a boomerang. So my favorite build right now, I have boomerang and eye blade, which is really nice. I'm very glad that this run is giving me my favorite build. The boomerang in specific is a really good primary weapon because it has a really quick alter attack that you can do, and also the longer that you hold out the boomerang, the more damage it'll do as well. And with the eye blade, you can see that the alter attack for the eye blade is 3 large swings with a huge area effect, and that's why I like those two things in combination with each other. I think they just meld well together, really good. But ateatree and Zen, what weapons and combinations are you using?
I feel like Zen and I both kind of end up with whatever the game gives us most of the time. Right now I'm using a combination of the Elder Blade, which is something from the most recent update, and gosh, what's the Anchor Boom. So I've kind of got a combination of near and far.
Burning or bleeding. Let's go with burn. I'm currently rocking a boomerang myself, which is always great. Boomerang is my favorite way to set up my alter attacks, and I am also rocking the weapon from the latest major update. That is the fishing rod, which is a beautiful gimmick weapon that is surprisingly legitimate as a gimmick up until about the final biome, because the fishing rod, specifically persistent sights, very nice, has the ability to hold your attack, and you can quite literally take your enemies, reel them in, and throw them behind you. So if you're good at positioning it, you can sit by an edge and then throw them off the edge for a free kill. It works on everything until they become large-sized enemies, so it's very efficient if I'm good at positioning and don't,
like a goo bomb or a detonator to stop me. So my hope is that I can get pretty close to the edges and just continuously reel my enemies off.
Hey, I don't know what you did, but keep doing that because your audio quality just got a lot better.
Did you change your mic mid-run?
I don't think so. I think
apparently.
Yeah.
In any case.
Now we're at Factory, which is the second biome. And I think it's the most straightforward of the biomes right here. This is one of the areas, one of the 2 areas that we can't deviate from. Every single run that you see us do ever will always have Factory in it. And again, as we've seen here, we have a really good combination of stuff that we have. Refilling Crystallize specifically allows me to every time that I crystallize an enemy. Also Fall the Wind. and every time that I crystallize an enemy, it will refill my trinkets. So if I keep doing that with a large amount of enemies, I will essentially never run out of my trinkets.
Yeah. Trinkets are extra items that you have on like the bumpers by default. I don't know what binds Ozmourn is using, but they can be anything from additional utility attacks, like there's one that makes your next single attack do double damage, to they can drop damaging fields or give you special kinds of like damage buildup, or they can just be like a big laser, a bomb, a grenade you throw at an enemy. And so they have their own cooldowns based on how, you know, relatively powerful they are to try to keep them in good balance. But getting 15 seconds off your cooldown anytime you crystallize is already very strong. And given the fact that we can now crystallize anything, it basically means we're going to have our trinkets up all the time. So any build we might be able to do that makes us more powerful when we use trinkets, like spawning a scythe on a trinket, or getting bonus damage after a few seconds when using a trinket, that's that much more viable for us during this run.
Yeah. I do enjoy the essentially endless loop that it puts you in, where you just crystallize and use your trinket, crystallize and use your trinket, crystallize and use your trinket over and over again. It's very nice. And it also has shield and crystallize, which, as you can see on my health bar, it has a large amount of shield. It's essentially extra health, but it won't regenerate no matter what. The only way that you can get it back is by using shield and crystallize again. Or crystallize barrier, as I should say, because they changed the name of it to not confuse with the actual weapon, the shield. There we go. Perfect. But I think that's enough information dumping for the time being. I think if Starwin wants to say some stuff, that'd be a good time.
Perfect. I was just about to ask. Because we do actually have some new polls and targets that have been opened. So if folks want to hit ! incentives in chat, you can see what is now open, which, spoilers, I'm also just going to tell you. We have 2 polls open. First will be for the Bouncer to choose the main character. I can't like unhear that announcer name every time.
The Bouncer.
The Bouncer. And then we also have a ship bid war for Star of Providence. Both those games are coming up soon, a little bit later tonight. We also have a little bit of a Friday night special for the Cabin Factory for us to look at some cute cats. Chat, it's only $50, and you can look at some cute cats.
I would like to look at some cute cats, please.
I like cute
You
cats.
could do that for $50. And then for tomorrow, during our King's Quest 6 run, we have a musical skip, which is an out of bounds using a in-game track of a like 90s love ballad that actually allows you to do that skip. The description alone, I'm not doing it justice, but the idea of using a love ballad to do an out of bounds skip sounds really cool. So
Hey,
for
love
all
knows
of
no
those,
boundaries. I'll say
exactly.
that much.
I would do anything for love, including going out of bounds. I would.
Oh, good.
do that.
I'm glad to know you would do that.
I would do that. But for all of those, again, ! incentives to find more details and ! donate to donate.
Everybody's at 5 slots, right?
Yeah, I'm at 5 slots, so you can get that.
Okay. Well, since you both walked away since you weren't sure, I guess I'll take that one.
Yeah. Speaking of the slots, gift slots, you might have seen us have we start out with 4 gift slots, and you can each get 2 more with a max of 6 gift slots on your first.
Technically, that's no longer strictly true. If you saw from the screenshot I shared with you,
yes.
I found a special gift that took away 1 gift slot temporarily, but then granted me 2 more. So generally on most runs, right? And I think that value may actually change based on when in the run you get it. That's actually the primary thing with this current update. In addition to a absolute butt ton of new gifts generally, they've also made it so that gifts change in efficacy with where in the run you are. So like stuff that starts with, hey, you do a bleed every time you crit, and that bleed is worth 4 damage per second. Once you're every time, okay. When you finish a boss, it could be like now it's 5.5 damage per bleed or 6 damage per bleed.
Thank you.
So there's more scaling on the different gifts you get, which I think really changes how you proceed through the game and makes different strategies that might not have been viable in previous updates a lot more viable. I think we'll actually find that damage over time builds like Bleed and Burn may be a lot stronger than they used to be. So
As
that
if
is
they
something.
weren't already really good.
Granted, but still, I think they will continue to get stronger. Yeah, that's somebody else's gift slot.
Copy.
Can't afford it. So
Could you put it most of it up for Zen?
yeah,
Since he's
I
kind
can
of our.
do 581, and then
I'm good to go.
59 left. Go ahead. I got balance, which is another one of the.
I can't spend anything on it because I'm already full up on gift slots.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
I
gonna
also
have to
can't
give up.
because I'm full. So.
Oh.
Oh
Good.
well.
Well,
Oh, dang.
I think that's
buying
something
it
worth
for us?
reporting in the
Oh, you
Discord.
Wow. Yep.
Nope. I'm also filled up. I can't spend on it.
Right.
Sorry, Oz.
Beta gameplay.
Yeah, I feel like we should show off the new biome.
All right. Why not?
In the 3-player on
Yeah.
Clear Sky, I'm very comfortable with this.
Yeah, I should have. I went to ask y'all before the run start, but since we've never shown off this biome before in a run, I think we should do it now.
True.
This is a
Yep,
new
You should
biome.
turn up the music volume. All of it.
Also, I didn't realize I got to the point where
Yeah.
both of my weapons have plus 100% size, which is useful in that it makes
As
their
it should.
hitboxes larger, especially the anchor boom here. It makes the giant damage field you can put down with its alter attack even better. But yeah, it also just makes me look really goofy because I have a giant anchor and a giant sword.
So, unless there's secretly another group of Windblown speedrunners that are showing this off in marathons, we have never shown off this particular biome in a marathon run before. It is a relatively new biome that has been in the update for a good amount of time now, but you know, it not since the last time that we played this game on a marathon setting before. I really like it. I think it's really good. It's a little longer than the Rat Village, which was the other one that we could have gone to, but I think the enemies are so much more unique and it's just a better vibe overall. And I'm really
I'm gonna give you a quick clarification asterisk. I have shown it off once
Oh,
at Momentum, and
Right.
I showed it off during a cataclysmic run where it killed me, which was very frustrating. It was a very
Alright.
scuffed run. I think that was the worst part. Like I just could not get anything besides a primary weapon. Like my alter attack setups, I couldn't get a good one that would actually bust the alter attack out, and it really scuffed the run.
That's fair.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, we can-
also
we can-
Hexes that can
here
now
we go.
show up. Yep, Hexes can just show up mid-run.
Ooh, you know what? I don't. Apparently, Overwhelm is really good according
Yes.
to people who've been playing. So I'm gonna test it.
Yeah, it's down to the chance
think
you have for it.
25%.
I actually have a gift for it, so I have a base 10% chance to overwhelm without the downside. You now have a 25% chance to do 25% more damage, but all the damage that doesn't overwhelm does 50% less. So that's called a
know
cursed
what?
hex.
It sounds fun to try just because it's super
Granted.
new. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
all
mean-
about it.
And if you were already doing like a critical damage build, or if you're not, maybe you could build into one.
Yeah.
It'll basically make your damage
Easily.
streaky, but if you're using a damage with like a high finisher, like the Beat Bolt, that could make you really, really strong under the right circumstances.
There's a gift that I picked up earlier. It's called Balance. Essentially, the TLDR is that the more health that I have, the more damage I do. Similar to how Midas, the more money you have, the more damage you do.
Yep, that's another
and-
one of those scaling upgrades. Very strong, no matter how long you're playing for.
Exactly. I will say, technically, there is theoretically no cap to these things, but after you get a certain amount of health or a certain amount of money, there is a soft cap, and which will start increasing ever so slightly less for each amount of money.
Yeah, we are
Remember
fairly
when there was no
confident
soft
that
cap?
we're fairly confident the developers put those in after watching our GDQ run.
Yeah, the Midas balance and also Boing Fish, which is a fish that I use on the boss. Essentially, you can just keep like hitting the boss over and over again, and it increases in damage every time that you do it. I think that they saw us and how much we abuse those and how broken those things can get, and they were just like, we're gonna nerf those, which is fair. I can't blame them for that at all, because like it's a very a very broken weapon to be used them right. Like it's very understandable why they wouldn't want that to be, you know,
Well,
something in the casual experience.
I think this patch's changes are really a big push towards a better overall balance and a friendlier game for new players. Because as
100%,
I
yeah.
mentioned before, the upgrades and like the things that go on upgrades are largely the same, although there are some new abilities as well. But before it was like, hey, attack speed up 40% on this weapon, but damage minus 20%. Now that attack speed bonus scales the further you are into the run, much like the gifts you can get.
Good job.
So like this Elder Blade that I have damage minus 20 on it, but I have critical damage plus 120%. So I'm basically just using it for its alter attack. Also, I just got Overpower, which makes my Overwhelm hits do even more damage.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But with that being said, since this game has ever since this game, like since we showed it off as a group, it might have nerfed some stuff, but it also added a lot of really cool additions to the game. Xenadir, you can grab this. This gift slot.
I'm maxed out. I'm good.
Oh, okay, I'll grab it then.
Nice.
And if no one's
Yeah,
gonna
sure.
get this boomerang, then I'm also gonna get that boomerang. So, with that being said, there's a lot of really good things that have changed. For example, one of the good things that changed, of course, is the biomes that we get to see. The other thing is this game used to have a sudden death system in which if one player died, each of the players could also die in one hit. That has recently been changed. It's actually had gone through a few iterations before it got to the one it is now. At first, it was you need to get a certain amount of kills, but now it's just generally if you do a certain amount of damage, you can revive your dead players, which I think is
there's like a
ideal
struggle
way.
system on the bottom of the screen showing how much damage you're doing, and that will drain if you're not in combat. But yeah,
It does have a buffer of time between combats to help a little
True.
bit, but
Exactly.
it is still
short, it's
infinitely
much
better
more
than it used to
forgiving.
be.
Yeah, it's no longer one hit kill. It's no longer your run is basically over. Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are terrifying times.
Really, really nice. Also, one relatively recent update that they made is that you are able to go through before you start a run, you're able to go through all of your gifts and trinkets and abilities, and you can also get rid of some that you don't want to appear in a run, which I think is a really good one. Obviously, there's limitations to it because it doesn't want to get rid of like the roguelike aspect of the game, but I do appreciate how if you like really hate a item, like all of us hate Telebike and Shield, we were not going to see it in the run because all of us got rid of it, so which is really nice.
If you hate your weapons, you don't have to keep them.
Exactly.
Certainly won't keep guitars. That's you can get that one right out.
Yeah, there's some weapons that just simply don't measure up.
Yeah, there's things that are definitely not built on the same playing field, especially, in my opinion, of all the weapons. Making fun of guitars, I feel like the last major update added 4 weapons. One of the weapons they added feel like just infinitely better guitars to me.
What, sisters?
Yeah, absolutely, Sharp Sisters. They feel like realistically what I think guitars should have been.
True.
Yeah,
there's
cool.
so many different weapons here that even if you were able to see all 3 of our fields at once, you wouldn't have seen all the different weapons and abilities that the game has to offer. There's only so much of them that you can see in one run, especially if we start tuning our memory decks. The game actually will continue to include items that at least one player has in their memory deck, so the only way you get rid of it for a full multiplayer stack is for all 3 players to get rid of something. But that's definitely happened here. There are some things that just none of us enjoy playing with, so those have not shown up in this run.
One thing that I will say is that I have absolutely loved just all the changes. Like, just general shout out to Devs. I've loved a lot of the changes that they made and all the new weapons and stuff that they've added. They always keep the community up to date with new stuff, and I'm so excited for 1.0 to come out the more I play this game, because I just feel like it's, growing into something that was so much more than what we started off when we first played this game together.
Dashes give a 20% chance to overwhelm with weapons and trinkets. Interesting.
Yeah, I actually have that one right now.
I guess we're both doing overwhelm builds. Yours is just stronger because you also have Midas.
It comes at a cost.
True.
But yeah, the devs are fantastic. They're very communicative, which I think makes a huge difference. I always think of the Warframe devs, Digital Extremes, in terms of like how much they interact with the community to make sure the game is really built for its players. Motion Twin is doing a great job of that. The community Discord, which I highly suggest everybody checks out if you're interested in the game, is also incredibly active. People talking in there, sharing feedback, ideas, stuff for skins, for gifts, for weapons. It's really, really worth being in there, especially when a beta drops. because
And
everybody can join betas. They release it to everyone.
Yes. And they really, really do listen to the community. How do you think they got rid of the sudden death mechanic? It's because most of the community said that they don't want it in anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Hey,
like
Starwind, we haven't heard from you in a
relatively.
little while. Do you have any messages for us or for the people?
I sure do. Yeah. No, I've just been mesmerized by the run. I won't lie. It's hard for me to get a word in because I'm just watching everything that's happening on the screen. But we did have a couple of donations that came in that I do want to give a shout out to. So first of all, Herminator heard my call
Hermie.
for
Hey, Herm.
our need to see some cute cats because we have a $10 donation from Herminator with the comment lowercase o7. So just everyone salute in chat for they
To you as
donated
well,
for
Herm.
those cats.
Just a heads up, time is going to come up when these 3 bosses are defeated. So when the last one's health bar empties, that'll be it. So that's going to come up pretty quick.
You
Yes,
can,
it will.
Back to you, Starwind.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to let folks know that we do have both polls and targets. So when you are donating with ! donate, you can choose both. Your money will actually go towards both. So that original donation went towards the look at the cute cats. And remember, you could
Let's
also
go.
added something to the poll as well.
Time.
Perfect.
Good job, gamers.
Thank you so much, Starwind, for those messages. And yeah, so you could beat those 3 bosses separately, but especially when you're on the easier difficulty, it is significantly faster to do it. When all just by fighting all 3 of them at once, it's a very nice like ending to the run, I would say. But yeah, and so yeah, that's been Windblown. That is one run, and there's again, also, as roguelikes usually have, so much replayability, so much. So let's do endless mode right now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? Everyone up for another
We're gonna be
loop?
here all day, baby.
I mean,
Someone donate
I could
$100 right
keep
now and we'll
watching.
go another one.
This has been a lot of fun. Any other shout outs? Xenadir, I know you weren't here
I
previously.
was going to say,
so
Ozmourn
you
and I have
anything?
each done ours. So Zen,
Yeah.
what you got for us?
I'm gonna say a huge thank you to everyone for bearing with me right now. Again, I'm in a very weird location compared to normal to do this, but I really wanted to be able to help out with the second event because it's just I love being a part of such a generous community, and Windblown especially is my first speed game. Like I never thought I'd actually speed run anything, but I managed to find 2 fantastic people, and we also have a third friend in Happy who is also playing with us from time to time. That Ozmourn and ateatree, helping me kind of break from behind the scenes into something in front means a lot to me. I'm glad today I had the opportunity to help out with the Power Up with Pride, and I hope you all continue raising a lot of money for such a fantastic cause. So thank you again for having me. I'm gonna have to get back to Zeldathon in a few moments, but glad I had the chance to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
thank-
catch that man running Monster Hunter World on Saturday at SGDQ, the final day. That's going to be a ton of fun.
We welcome in the finale day. We were first run technically crossing the hour.
Right?
Yeah, nice. But yeah, this run has been a lot of fun. I remember when Xenadir first wanted to do something co-op with someone, and I was just like, yeah, if you find someone that's good, like let me know. And then we tossed a bunch of ideas around, and then Xenadir came up with Windblown, and I was just like, this looks so good actually. And so then we got ateatree to join us, and the rest is history. Here we are now. But yeah.
Thank you so much.
You
Yeah, this has been an amazing run. It blew right by.
Yo.
Very good. All right, on that one, take us out. We can't stand any more of these. We got to get out of here. Thanks again, Starwind.
Right,
appreciate you.
Yeah, go give all of these wonderful runners a follow as we get ready to move on with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind coming up soon. So stick around. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. You are watching Power Up with Pride 2025 here on Twitch. We are running from June 13th through 15th for about 16 hours a day, benefiting True Colors United. To find out more about them, you can see the link to their site in the panels below the stream, or use !charity in chat. And a little bit about True Colors United. They're implementing innovative solutions to youth homelessness that focus on unique experiences of LGBTQ plus young people. Their team works at the federal, state, and local levels to ensure vital funding policies, systems, and protections are in place to meet the needs of LGBTQ plus and BIPOC youth experiencing or at risk of homelessness. They partner with young people and with national, state level, and local advocates in advancing policies that'll bring us all closer to a future where housing justice is a reality for all. Chat, this has been a wonderful marathon so far. We're getting into some like proper evening hours, so we are getting all nice and cozy. You know, again, I said that before. I have my blanket on. I'm starving because of the focaccia bread talk earlier, but I'm wondering what runs coming up that folks are excited for. We do have polls and incentives open for folks who might be looking forward to some of those runs. So as a reminder that we do have polls for both the Bouncer and Star of Providence, as well as two targets, one for tonight, the Cabin Factory, looking at some cute cats, as well as King's Quest 6, which will be tomorrow, for that 90s love ballad musical skip. But that being said, this is the end of my hosting shift tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure. Everyone here has been wonderful. And I will be back tomorrow morning for more Power Up with Pride. But if you're not, I'm going to be handing you off to the reliable Motas. So stick around and we'll be back.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Power Up with Pride. I'm Ellen Motas. Thank you, Starwind, who hosted the previous block, for that great intro. This is Power Up with Pride 2025. We're running from June 13th through June 15th, 16 hours a day, benefiting True Colors United. To find out more about them, you can find the link in their site in the panels or use !charity in the chat. If you're interested in donating, you can type !donate in chat. Find the schedule by using !schedule, or see the incentives with !incentives. We've made it real easy there. So we are waiting now to do Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, which is going to be co-op unrestricted. We've got a really full server for this. OG Happy Dude's going to be there. DBK's going to be there. Gamo's going to be there. Butch, Protosonic, and Amber Cyprian on the couch. So stay tuned. We've got a lot of personality-filled run coming up. We do have a donation here from What If Girl, who donated $25 and says the obvious choice has to be null because egg shape. That is for an upcoming incentive to pick the ship in Star of Providence, which is 3 runs from now, but it is one of the incentives we have open. There is a bid war to decide which ship you will choose for that bid war. Null happens to be the default ship, but there are some others in there as well. The other choices for that bid war are the Arena Blaster, which will make the runner do the game with no bombs, but has other powers that you can pick up. We have the Sword Ship, which is only swords and a different final boss, and the Arms Master that has 2 weapons. So very different playstyles for the different ships. Definitely take a look at that bid war and all the other upcoming incentives. We also have the Look at the Cats target incentive for the Cabin Factory. So go check that out as well. And remember, when you are donating, you can pick both an incentive and a bid war. You get to double dip there a bit.